Hey guys, this is Eric with Food Plot Solutions, and it's that time of the year again where we're frost seeding. Finally, the season is upon us to get started for 2020. Now, this video I'm going to cover frost seeding and some of the basics, and then some more of the advanced topics on it as well. And frost seeding for beginners, realistically guys, what this is we're going to be spreading seed on the ground at the latter part of the winter, early part of the spring, when the ground is still freezing and thawing, or you're still getting those cycles of freezing and thawing. And what that's going to do is when we spread the seed out on the soil, when it freezes and thaws, the ground's going to heave up and contract, heave and contract, okay? And it's actually going to pull our seed into the soil a little bit. And that's going to allow us to have adequate seed to soil contact, germination, and hopefully growth, okay? And that's how you do a plot frost seeding, or that's how frost seeding works. Now, when we're talking frost seeding, there's some real key things to remember with this. And the first is seed selection. Seed selection is absolutely vital. Realistically, guys, you really only want to be frost seeding clovers. Now, as you can see, clover is very, very small. And when we spread it out here, okay, you can barely see it, that we actually spread anything. It's just barely on the surface. Now, if we do this with oats or a grain or anything else like that, it's not going to work its way in and it's going to rot. Now, when it comes to clovers, I prefer to have the coated kind. It's not to say that raw won't work, but it's a little bit of added protection when you're frost seeding to have a coated seed, I feel, at least personally. That's just a personal opinion, guys. As well as inoculant. You still have to inoculate it if you're going to frost seed, so please remember that. Other seed options. I see people ask the question about brassicas. This is a little bit more advanced, or an advanced theory, but you never want to frost seed brassica. The only time you may want to consider this is when you're actually trying to bring nutrients to the soil surface and till them part of the way through the season. So maybe you want to frost seed some turnips in with the anticipation that you're going to till them in June, or in July anyways, so you have more nutrients available towards the top of the soil profile for your following fall crop. Now, whether that actually works or not, you really need to do some testing to find that out. I haven't seen a whole lot quite yet on that, but it's an idea, okay? So now we know what seed we need. Now we need to know what location. Guys, location is the key when we're talking frost seeding. You have to have the right location. If you don't, this is where it's going to fail. 9 times out of 10, frost seedings fail because of the wrong location. Okay, let's start off. This is a good location. This is a 1-year-old clover plot that was frost seeded last year. And you can see there's quite a bit of space here, an open space. We actually do have some seed here that we threw out earlier today. And it kind of shows you that this would be a good spot because we can see some seed. We got some exposed soil. Good spot to do it. Another spot that's a good spot would be a plot that was tilled last year and maybe you had a seeding issue. Okay, so this plot, you can see it's much more, it's just as open as this, a lot more actually. It looks like it was tilled and never seeded. So this is a good spot to actually seed like this. Now, last year, I wish we would have spray killed this section off going into this year, but we'll spray kill it off as the season goes along and just fight the weeds that we have, or pull these ahead of time. This isn't that big of a strip. This is more just a test spot anyways. Locations that are not good for frost seeding, okay? Frost seeding spots that are going to flood. So like this spot, where we're going to have a lot of standing water. Not going to be a good spot, okay? Spots that have a lot of residue. All right, now this is kind of this is a better example. You can see there's a lot of residue here. The seed's going to have to try to work through. Now, if this is spray killed off, you stand a chance. But if it's not, it's going to be really difficult to get anything really established here. So I encourage you that if your plots have been fallow for 5 years or more, you need to till them or turn them or do something with them. Mow them, spray kill them off, mow them, rake it off, whatever. do something to open it up and give yourself some type of advantage and the possibility to have seeding success. Guys, another, one of the things I see or get asked too when we talk about frost seeding is, do I have to have snow to frost seed? My honest answer is, when it comes to this, kind of goes with my timeline on when I'm actually going to frost seed. I prefer to do it at a time like this where there's a little bit of snow here, but for the most part, this plat is pretty clean. Because when we look at snow and we look at the seed, you see all the seed just sitting on top. Gives you a really good idea how you spread it, which we just kind of threw the seed on here so you could see what it actually does. But the problem with this is, if you spread all your seed when there's a lot of snow on the ground yet, notice how down at the bottom, this plot obviously has a slope, and a lot of our snow and stuff is running down, and water is all running down this way. If we spread our seed on the snow when the snow is like 2 feet high, a lot of our seed is going to be right there, right? Whereas if we waited till at least now our seed is placed where we want it. And that's really why I like to wait till, if you're going to get a week or two of the freezing and thawing, that's about all I like. I don't want the seed sitting out there for a month. It doesn't have to, you don't have to do that. Trying to seed it at the last part of the fall and hoping that it carries over, you can do that. Just realize that with all the warming cycles and things like that, you're going to take more of a risk of seed rot because it's out there so much longer. I get it, guys. It's frozen. I understand that. But when you get those freak days that are 60 degrees in the beginning of March, and all of a sudden you get a week of freezing weather and stuff like that, it makes it kind of a nightmare on your seed. So you want to keep it somewhat consistent, all right? To end this video, we'll follow up with some questions I saw or I've seen online. Should I combine fertilizer and lime with my seed, okay, when I frost seed? If the ground is frozen, guys, you should never be liming or fertilizing. That is absolutely a terrible practice, and it's for reasons just like this. If we were to fertilize and lime when this soil or when there was all this snow in here, a lot of it, where's it going to go? Get carried right down here in this water. It's totally off our plot. It's literally going to be, you're going to get a fraction of what you put out on this plot. So you're literally wasting money. Okay, there's a lot of other reasons why you shouldn't be doing it, but for the simple financial standpoint, it's stupid. So don't waste your time. Another thing that I've seen too is kind of back along with combining grains and brassicas with your seeding. Again, you don't want to do that because of either maturity reasons, that your seed's going to be over mature, or the fact that your seed's going to rot. Here's an example of oats just being thrown on the surface. I did this on purpose, and I'm just going to see what actually ends up happening here, but I can guarantee these are going to rot out by the time they actually become viable, because we're not close enough for oats to do anything. You need at least 50-degree soil temps to even start with some of this stuff, and if it's not going to be that for a month or two, or a month and a half, they're going to be in the soil, but they're just going to rot because there's going to be so much moisture and they're not going to do anything, guys. That's why you got to be careful with some of this stuff and what you're actually seeding. And that's really it, guys. That's frost seeding. Any questions, concerns, feel free to hit us up. But for all your seed needs, foodplotsolutions.com. Thank you very much, and have a great season.